Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse. By now, you know the drill. We get cool people who are doing big things. They come in and spend some time with us. And Justina Valentine,
in the building.
Comedian, rapper, actor, entrepreneur, producer. What else?
Wow, you went crazy on the writer,
I read your bio.
director, yeah, little bit of everything, Bill. I'm just, I'm wearing a lot of hats and just getting in where I fit in.
So we met at a station event. It was like
had to be like a decade ago, longer, huh?
And you were grinding.
I was in these streets.
Yeah,
I was grinding. I'm just like probably was trying to sell mixtapes or whatever I was doing. But I was out here promoting for sure.
Did you know then? Like we'll go back to what then was, but now you have the benefit of 12 years to look back.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine this?
I always knew that I was talented. And always obviously thought that I was really dope. I think you have to be your own fan, and really believe in yourself. So I always knew I am so dope. Why hasn't the world noticed yet? Or why haven't I gotten that big break? So I think, I always believed in myself. Now, did I know that I would be on this level? Sitting here with Bill Anderson doing The Pulse with a show tomorrow in Philly, longest running female cast member of Wildin' Out, producing my own movies and this and that. It's a dream come true. I don't even know at that time if I could have dreamed this big. I was just so hungry back then, trying to get on, trying to get seen, grinding.
So you knew you had it.
Exactly that. I knew I had it. I was waiting for the world to see it. I was not trying to get on TV. I was a recording artist, rapper, singer, songwriter, and I was trying to get a big hit single and, be that next big rapper. And it was very much so an uphill battle, being a white girl. And
a white girl who's a real rapper. Like you weren't trying to
real
be
lyricist.
A gimmick.
No, I'm a real lyricist.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, the industry loves white men, the music industry. But white girls, whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna. It is what it is, and the reason why it is what it is because I am so grateful to be where I'm at that I just know this was the plan God had for me. Okay. So when I was beating my head against the wall, trying to be the next big rapper and whatever, and I couldn't get through that door, God opened this window, and when I got the opportunity to audition for Wildin' Out, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. I bodied that thing. I killed that audition. Okay. And I knew I killed it.
Wildin' Out wasn't even a thing, at least for you.
No. My good friend of mine, and I will shout him out every time I'm ever asked about Wildin' Out, Tonio Skits. It was 2015. I was filming a music video in LA, and I told Tonio to pull up and do a skit with me for the music video. And when he came, I started freestyling. He was beatboxing. He was like, yo, I never heard anyone freestyle like you. You have to audition for this show I'm about to audition for. There are not many people that'll do that.
He was trying to put you on something he didn't even have yet.
He wasn't even on it yet. And to this day, that is my brother. I put him in my first movie. He's in my next movie. I always tell him, I was like, if it's something I have two of and you need, you could have, I don't know, liver, gallbladder. It's a couple things I know we have two of. Yeah. I'm like, if I only have one, you're on your own, bro. I'll give you I'll help with the medical expenses. No, but so he connected me with the producers, and I sent in a bunch of videos of me doing real freestyles outside of SOBs in New York on Be Real's radio show, me getting words from the crowd, this and that. So I sent them in the videos, and they invited me to audition. And I pulled up and did the damn thing. And that's when my life changed. The path I was on and my goal of wanting to become a recording artist, everything changed, and then I became a TV star. And I really just believe that was the path for me. I still love music. It's still a passion of mine. Me just being such a good rapper is what got me on TV.
You're still a recording artist.
Oh, for sure.
You just were able to go out there and build such a following that you got to do it on your terms, which is almost better.
100%.
Now you release what you want.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I think my experience and my peers and stuff, it's a lot more money in film and television than there is in music, unless you really, really, really the top of the food chain. So I could not be more grateful to be where I am. In the words of the prophet, Meek Mill, I pray, you know what I mean? I pray for times like these. So it's like, I'm happy to be here and I love what I do.
I like highlighting just the nature of this show is that the whole concept of positivity and use your voice for good and all those things. I love the story you tell about Tonio's skits because that's real love. I mean, in theory, he could have been risking his own spot by putting you on or saying, come on out.
I haven't met many people along the way that would do that. And anytime anyone has ever asked me about how I got on Wild 'N Out, there's never been one time I haven't mentioned him. And he'll always call me and be like, Jay, damn, I just saw the interview. Thank you. Like, I'm like, why are you thanking me? I gotta
That's what happened.
This is my way of thanking you from here until the end of the time. I'm never gonna mention getting on Wild 'N Out, and I'm mentioning you because if it wasn't for you, there's a good chance if it wasn't for him, I never would have got on the show. Like I said, I was not trying to get on TV.
Coming up next, even when the industry seemed like it was stacked against her, she found a way.
All right, so you did something to me that you haven't done to someone in 7 years because they can't do it, and they come up here with written verses, and I freestyled, and I bodied it, even with the trash beats you gave me. I said, okay. I said, go and dust your shoulder off one time, you know?
Yeah, so it's clear to say that Wild 'N Out is the big break. Like that was the life changer.
100%. Prior to, you know, like around the time when we met at the Philly event, what life looked like back then was, you know, I was touring and we would jump on tours of other artists and I would open for them. Okay. So like Futuristic, Mike Stud, Chris Webby, I would go on and I would go and open for them. So we were like touring across the country in like a Nissan Sentra. It was ridiculous. We were like driving like
it's a work industry.
Like, like my DJ had like literally her speaker on her lap. Like it was insane. Like we traveled literally, you know, we would sleep like 6 people to a motel at night, like 5-6 people crammed in the car. But you know, I'm from northern New Jersey, so I'm right outside New York. So I would be in and out of all the open mics in New York. They would do MC battles and competitions. I won one of the MC battles, and you know, and it was no cute stuff like you could write for your opponent. No, someone would come on the stage, you battle them, and you got to just battle them right there. They would bring out bags. You have to take items out of the bag, freestyle about what you're taking out of the bag. The DJ would beat juggle. He would slow down the tempo, speed up the tempo. Like that's the type of stuff like people don't do, and it's crazy because all that work I put in, you know, my 10,000 hours, like they talk about in the tipping point. When I went up to Sway, I went up there and I spit like maybe, I don't know, 32 or 48 bars or something written, you know, whatever. And then we went into commercial break and I was like, all right, I'm ready for the 5 Fingers of Death. And Sway was like, we don't have time. I'm going to play your single. Because we had been like chatting and, you know, I did the written. I'm like, Sway, I came here.
I was ready for this.
I was like, I came here to do the 5 Fingers of Death. And he was like looking at us. I said, Sway, you have never had a female spit a real freestyle. I said, I'm about to spit a real freestyle completely unwritten. You're going to give me the words as I rap. I said, no female has ever done that. So Sway, being a real one, he was like, all right. He let me do it. And then the DJ Wonder, he was juggling beats and switching the tempo. Speeding it up, slowing it down. And I think, shout to Wonder, but I think Wonder was trying to mess me up. He gave me the worst beats in the world, and he was like slowing up and speeding the beats, but pressure bust pipes and make diamonds, and baby, I'm shining. But when I was done with the 5 Fingers, and the show was over and everything, I said this way, I said, I didn't know you guys changed the pace of the beat, speed it up and slow down. He said, we don't. We haven't done it in 7 years. He said, because no one could catch it. So I asked Wonder, I said, what made you do to me? And he was like, because you were talking so much ish, you know? Like, but I was talking my ish to get them to let me do it because I came there for that. But I was like, all right, so you did something to me that you haven't done to someone in 7 years because they can't do it, and they come up here with written verses, and I freestyled and I bodied it, even with the trash beats you gave me. I said, okay. I said, go and dust your shoulder off one time, you know?
Yeah, you give yourself some credit when those types of things happen.
Yeah, but I like telling that backstory because people watch that. You know, that Sway has been one of the moments in my career people reference from the Sway or my Funk Flex freestyle or my Leakers freestyle or my freestyle with Bootleg Kev. And I'm, to this day, not only the first, but the only female to spit a completely off-the-top, unwritten freestyle for Sway's 5 Fingers of Death.
After you do that and you know they're trying to trick you up, they admit that they're trying to trick you up. Did you leave with a different level of confidence from there? You're like, wow, they tried to come at me and they still couldn't.
Yes, I definitely left that day feeling like I did that. I'm that girl. And, you know, all my work and my grind and, you know, everything I've put into this, it wasn't in vain. And, you know, all them years, like when you saw me at the Philly event, all those years that I was grinding and trying to be seen and let the world see my talents, like, it had came to fruition. Like, I still get the chills when I think about it, because I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, God, thank you. You know, because it was, when you're grinding and you're an entrepreneur and whatever, you never know what is gonna happen. You just don't know. So when you get to the point you're there, you got bread, you got this, you got that, you're literally living your dream, like, it's a blessing. And I never let that part pass me by.
Coming up next, working so hard for success means she's always up for the next challenge.
I jumped into producing and writing my own films, which was like a Herculean undertaking.
You kept building, growing, and now we start off the introduction. It's hard to define. Like, you're doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
5 million between friends, 25 million social media followers.
Yeah.
And having that level of support, doesn't it open up a lot of doors? I mean, it kind of means you can just about do whatever you want to do. Like, you have a built-in audience for all of your creativity.
Yeah. It's because of the people that I'm able to do what I do. Like I told you, you know, I jumped into producing and writing my own films, which was like a Herculean undertaking. It was like the most ambitious thing I had ever done. And it was scary to do, but I was like, it's so true when they say you're going to regret more what you don't do. Because I remember before I did that film, because I financed the film, I did everything for that film from A to Z. And I remember it was like 2 weeks before we were about to start filming. And I could not sleep the entire night. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, am I gonna sell this? Like, I'm dumping so much bread into this. And then that next day, like, I think I finally fell asleep for like an hour. I got up and I was like, just shut up and do it. Stop, just do it. And I did it. And it was one of the most times or things I've done in my career that I'm most proud of. Mm-hmm. And gave me the confidence to go and produce that show with Conceited. And now we did that, and we got greenlit for season 2. We just wrapped season 2. Now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do another movie. And I feel good about it. I feel great about it because I believe in myself. I believe in my team. And I'm like Adam Sandler. I like always hire all my friends. Like, I always call all my friends like, yo, I got this role for you. And the thing about it is, I know I can depend on my friends, and they're so talented. You call it Conceited, a DC Young Fly, a Nick Cannon, that they're gonna give you what you need. They're gonna deliver. So
it's gotta feel good to be that, like, somebody helped you.
Yes.
Now you're in the position, like, all right, things are going on. I can go out there and reach out and continue to show my support for people who I want to help, but I also know had me.
That loyalty is important. I always will have loyalty to Nick. I don't care if Nick tomorrow was like, I'm done wilding out. That's it. I'm stick a fork in it. It's done. I'll always have, Nick could call me and be like, hey, I need you for, come on the mask show and just walk around in a penguin suit and be the mask. I'll do whatever he wants. I always have that loyalty for Nick because, he changed my life.
Any of the people who told you no, any of the people who said you can't rap, we're not going to help you out, like, those people out there exist now also. Any of them come back into your life when you've reached this level of success, and how have they handled that? None
of them are close enough in my circle for me to even know what they think or whatever, but they follow me and they see me, yo, you killing it, so it's that. But but no one kind of will ever admit they were a naysayer, they hated on you, or they didn't really believe in you. No. But I see people out that were naysayers and they dap me up and tell me how proud they are of me, this and that. I'm just like, but I'm too blessed to hold a grudge. So I just see him, I smile, I dap him up right back, tell him it's great to see him, and keep it moving, keep it pushing.
Next, when you roast and battle people for a living, listen, sometimes they might get in their feelings.
I know certain lines not to cross, but I think there have been guests on the show that didn't really know like how we get down on Wild 'N Out and weren't that prepared to get roasted.
When you do roasting, improv, Wild 'N Out, like you roast a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the nature of the show. I always wonder, is that ever awkward? Because you like a lot of them are people you interact with now.
Some people's feelings could get a little hurt. I think like the cast members a while now, they know what it's hitting for,
Right.
Most of them, sometimes you have newer cast members or it's certain things. I think people know not to cross like a certain line. Well, no one does it with me. People say anything and everything to me, but I know certain lines not to cross. But I think there have been guests on the show that didn't really know like how we get down on Wild 'N Out and weren't that prepared to get roasted. So it's definitely been a little bit of that. But I'll say overall, if you are brave enough to come on Wild 'N Out, you know what it's hitting for.
So you've done all the different things, podcasts, hosts, films. You gonna write a book? Like what do we need to look for? You're on comedy tour.
For me right now, I'm heavy in like the film and TV bag. So season 1 of What's Cooking Good Looking with me and Casita is out now. It's on Peacock and Tubi, and season 1 was really dope. So season 2 is hilarious. We're getting ready to drop that soon, so I'm very proud of that. Also, like you said, we have dates coming up. Next month, we are in Boston at Laugh. I believe it's July 17th. And then just a bunch of spot dates from here throughout the rest of the year.
The theme of the show is use your voice for good. So
Love that.
You continue to empower people. You help people. You're helping people break into the industry. What are some of the things that we should look for, or we can get involved with you to kind of help people continue to build?
Yeah, no, I love that. I am involved with a bunch of different charities and organizations. I feel very passionate about animals. So Philly, if you love me, I always tell people, if you see something, say something, because animals, they have no voice. We are their voice. Yeah. So, I have a soft spot for the elderly, babies, etc. So I've been to like old people's home and like rapped and sang for them. What's always great to do, especially once you feel like you're doing good and you're established in your life, is to give back. Mm-hmm. So whether it's through a charity, an organization, a foundation, also, like you said, I feel like I have and continue to put people in positions the way Tonio did for me. So I have friends that are very talented, but, still on the come up, still working their 9 to 5s and whatever, and still have dreams of their big break. And I put them on when and where I can. I include them, in the movie stuff so they could, be eligible for SAG and everything else. So, I try to give back, the way Tonio did for me, and I'm so proud of you, Bill. Come on, man. We both came a long way. I remember you were out there in the field 12 years ago. Now you look at you,
they
boss.
Let me into the actual
They let you into the building because I remember back then he was trying to get in. They were like, "Who is this guy? He doesn't even have like a little."
I was walking around
name tag.
carrying a selfie stick. Met Justina.
See?
Like, can I get an interview right quick?
And now look at you, BAM. You're the first letter of BAM, the Pulse. I mean, you up here killing
I still carry around a selfie stick. Use your voice for good is the theme of the show.
Okay.
When you hear the phrase "use your voice for good," what does that mean to you?
I think it means to use your voice for someone other than yourself. Mm-hmm. Because not everyone has a voice and not everyone has the same voice as you. So use your voice for good for those outside of yourself. Be selfless. That's what that means for me.
Guys, thanks so much for watching The Pulse with Bill Anderson. Today with Justina Valentine. It's amazing to me that I met her like 12 years ago and she was just out there putting in work. Now 12 years later, several hit shows, 25 million social media followers, doing her thing, and still as cool as she was then. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I leave you today as I always do, reminding you whenever you can, use your voice for good and have a good one.